Here I'm going to demonstrate for you where your input file needs to be in order for your program to work correctly. So I've created a new project. It's called Project 5 and it's on my desktop. I'm just going to show you right here, Project 5 on my desktop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an input file. So to do that, you do File, New File, and I'm just going to create a text file. Inside of here, it gives us a default name. I've had a couple of them open, so mine's textfile3.txt, but if it's your first one, it'll be textfile1.txt. This is not the input file name you should be using, and it's not putting it in the correct location right now. So you need to do a File, Save As, and you need to search on your desktop for where your project is. So mine's on my desktop on Project 5. And then I'm going to name it Salary. You don't need to put an extension out there. It'll create a text file with a .txt extension. So I'm going to choose Save. So now you can see here's the name of my text file. I can put my input data in it. I'm going to just save it. Now, before you proceed, you should go to your folder where your project is, and you should see Input 5. Here's my input file. It should be in the same location as this Project 5 VCX proj. If you don't see the file extensions on yours, roll your mouse over them. Right? This tells you it's a solution file. This tells you it's a project. Actually, this is the one I'm looking for, right? The VC++ project file. If your input file is not in the same folder as that, your program will not work. So if it's someplace else, you can copy and paste it into this folder or move it into this folder. Okay, now I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to start working. I'm going to put some source code in here. I've already started this source code so I can demonstrate a few things to you. All right, so we know what's in the input file, right? What I'm going to show you here is how to make sure that you're actually finding the input file. So we need to declare an input file stream. I have a variable called infile. You can call it whatever you want. And then I need to open it, and I need to do an association between this file and this variable infile. So after this point in my program, every time I say infile, it's going to be looking at this file. There's a couple different ways that are demonstrated within the lecture material to check for valid file names, but I think this is probably the easiest, and it's very similar to the syntax that I showed you in the previous project. If the user didn't enter 1 through 5, then it would exit the program. Okay, actually I want to do that here. Sorry. Okay. And this will be the same thing. If not in file, this just means if it can't find your input file, you'll get a message, I can't find your input file, and then it'll exit the program. If it can find it, right, so this will be true, not true is false, it'll bypass the whole if statement and it'll continue with whatever the rest of the program is. So I'm going to run this, right, and the program's running fine. Just says press any key to continue because there's no code down here, okay? But let me see, I'm just going to change this file name to this, and I don't have a file name that. So it'll say, I cannot find your input file. Okay? So you need to have this in your program. Number one, it's required to get full credit. Number two, if your program doesn't work and you don't have this in it, you don't know if it doesn't work because it can't find the input file or if it doesn't work because there's a problem with your code. And you need to narrow down what the exact problem is. And this will save you a lot of time.